Mayfield was the #1 overall pick by the Browns, but he reportedly could have gone to New England. The Athletic reports the Patriots tried to schedule a visit with Baker before the draft, but he declined because they didn't have a high pick. Josh McDaniels then told a member of Baker's camp that the Patriots were considering trading up to the #2 pick, and then Baker finally agreed to meet with them. Shannon, do you believe the Patriots were serious about trading up for Baker?
I do not. And this was I was skeptical of, Skip, because this did not fit the profile of what Coach Belichick normally does in the draft. Normally, if he has multiple picks, especially in the first round, we've seen it happen before. One year they got taken away because of Spygate. But normally what he does, he will move back to acquire more picks. He's more of a quantity guy as opposed to a quality guy. It really makes no sense when you look at it, Skip.
Well, so you don't think they were going to do that?
No, because here's the reason why, Skip. Why would he would have basically had to give up his entire draft for a guy that's not going to help him this year or maybe not even next year. So this is what he did, he stayed pat. He got Isaiah Wynn, lineman, probably going to start. Sonny Michel, running back, versatile. Dion Lewis, probably going to start. So this is why it makes no sense. Also, Skip, do you know the compensation? Now, Washington, to get RG3, they moved from 6 to 2. They gave up 2 first-rounders and a second-round pick just to move up 4 spots. Mm-hmm. You go from 23 to go all the way up to 2. You giving up both of those first-rounders, both of those second-rounders, possibly
maybe another pick,
maybe even next year's second-rounder. Because if they gave up, look what Carson Wentz, what did the Eagles give up to get Carson? Mm-hmm. They swapped picks, then they gave a second, a third, a fourth to move up 6 spots. Mm-hmm. So that's to move up 6 spots. That's to move up 4 spots. And you think you're going to be able to move up 21 spots? Mm. Skip it took his entire draft. And I don't believe Coach Belichick would be willing to do that on a player that's not going to do him any good for the next year, maybe 2. So this is why I think this was a smokescreen. Mm. But I tell you what, I got a sneaky suspicion. I could be wrong. Jack Mills, and he represented a lot of some of the Broncos.
Well,
I think he's based in Colorado. Skip. Jack Mills probably going to do business again with the New England Patriots. Do you actually think he would have said this if he wasn't given the green light to say, go ahead and put this out there? How many agents you know we had something working behind? And name a team. Right? Joy, I don't think that's me or your business, so I ain't going to say no more about it.
So what's your gut feeling? No?
No.
My gut feeling is yes. Because they asked Baker Mayfield to come to Foxborough so they could meet him up close and personal, spend a little time with him, get to know him. And he said no because I'm not going 23rd in the first round. And I don't blame him for that.
Right.
He didn't want to take another trip, a long trip up to New England, just for nothing. And they came back and said, hold the phone here because we're thinking about going to get you at 2. And if you're there at 2, we'll take you at 2. Will you come meet us now? And he said, yeah, I'll do that. So he flew to Foxborough and spent time with Belichick and company, with Josh McDaniels, maybe met Mr. Kraft. I don't know. I assume he would. And why would that be if you weren't seriously interested in trading up to 2? Well, sometimes in the old days in this league, going back to the Gil Brandt era in Dallas, there was this whole idea of bringing in quarterbacks you might have to compete against just to check them out, get into their heads a little bit, see what they're made of, so that you can better game plan against them or know their tendencies, their sort of psychological tendencies.
Right.
Would they go to that length just in case he wound up with the Jets? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. Here's why I think they were fascinated. Who sat here the day after the national semifinal and said, I'm taking that kid #1? Charlie Weiss. Charlie Weiss was the offensive coordinator for Bill Belichick when Tom Brady fell out of heaven into their laps and they won a Super Bowl, right?
Won 3 of them.
Yeah, he won 3. And I'm pretty sure they stay in touch. And I'm pretty sure Charlie Weiss told Bill Belichick at some point over the last couple of months, Bill, this kid's something now. This is the kid that old school coaches call, you know this old expression, forgive me if it offends anybody, but he's full of piss and vinegar. Yes. Have you heard that before? Because that's what Baker Mayfield, that's what they say. That kid is full of piss and vinegar.
Well, Skip, why not just go ahead and move up to
Well,
number one?
Let me finish.
Okay.
He's a fighter.
Yes.
He's an extreme competitor.
Yes.
He's extremely confident and full of himself to the point he will trash talk anybody.
Right.
And I believe Bill Belichick said that's the kind of kid who has the fortitude and the makeup to replace Tom Brady, because it's going to take a rare human being to be able to step into those shoes.
It's going to take
and I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield can be better than Brady or even get close to being as good as Tom or great as Tom Brady's been. I'm just saying he could survive the onslaught of trying to replace him. And I think Belichick said, that's my guy. I'm going to go get him at number 2. And it would have taken a boatload.
Everything, all his picks in this draft, and maybe a few in next year's draft.
Okay. Do I believe the war is over between Belichick and Brady?
No.
I do not. And did you hear the shots fired that we talked about yesterday from Brady back at Belichick? A little bit between the lines, but as I said yesterday, for Brady, that was like drop the mic, right?
Yes.
But by his standards, that was scathing.
Right.
And he indicated he wasn't happy, he wasn't appreciated. And the war, to me, is escalating because I think he heard from his sources within the organization that they were trying to go get Baker Mayfield to once again fast-track Tom Brady out of town, where he was going. If he wants to play until his middle 40s, he's going to have to finish, in Belichick's view, someplace else. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? So he's furious at it. He's feeling less appreciated than ever. And yet, to me, Belichick is not. He's not waving any white flag here. He's still fighting back. So he would have loved the move of getting Baker Mayfield and giving up his draft, because then that gives Tom Brady no more help for next year, right?
Do you believe Cleveland would have been able, if they say, okay, we'll give you our two picks, 23 and 31, our 2 first rounders, we'll give you next year's number 1 for the right
to go to Cleveland?
Yes, to go up to number 1.
I don't know. It seemed to come out of left field late in the process that Cleveland was leaning Baker Mayfield.
Right.
And it's possible that the Josh Allen information, the old 16-year-old tweets, you know, what he talked about it last week, back in his high school days, it could have swung them back in Baker Mayfield's corner.
Right.
Maybe. So maybe Belichick's intel is that they're going to go Josh Allen and they're going to leave Baker Mayfield for whoever. Yeah, and so you could go to 2.
Right.
Now, were the Giants that sold? What was Gettleman's line? Saquon's been touched by God.
Yes.
Was that the line?
Something like that, yeah.
Touched by God? Or was that after you got him, or did you think that before you drafted him? I don't know. But the point is, would they have given up the shot at Saquon?
For
all that?
If you're going to give up 2 number 1s, 2 2s, absolutely. Saquon, okay, yeah, they give him
Thanks,
up.
but no thanks.
Yeah.
I would too. That's what I would do.
But my question to you is that, do you believe there was a package that the Patriots could have put together that could have enticed the Browns to let them go to the number 1 slot?
No. I just think it would have taken too much. I could be wrong about it, but again, Cleveland desperately needed to score with the quarterback.
Yes.
And if they fell completely in love with Baker Mayfield, then God bless them. That's what they should have done at any price.
I would have. Because here's the thing, Skip. If you let them go to 1 and you get their 2 1s this year, their 2 2s, and maybe, let's just say they don't give you next year's number 1, they give you next year's number 2. You're still in the 4 slot. So you still got an opportunity to get a quarterback because, granted, Baker Mayfield might have been number 1 on their board, but it's hard for me to believe, because we didn't hear anything except the last week, Skip, that he was head and shoulders above everybody that was on the board at the quarterback position.
Maybe.
So you could have gotten a quarterback.
You could have gotten Josh Allen at 4 if that's who you love.
Yeah, but just think, now you got 23, you got 31, and they had 2 number 2s also. So now you got 4 2s, 3 1s, 4 2s, and maybe next year's 2.
Maybe we'll hear something eventually from the Giants side,
that
this package was on the table hinging on who Cleveland took number 1. Like the package to the Giants from the Patriots was on the table.
So the Giants going to leak information that, there was a deal in place for the Patriots to move up, and it seems like they were going to go move up to get Baker Mayfield. Tom Brady going to walk in Coach Belichick off and say, Can't believe you do something like that.
I don't think Tom Brady has that in him.
You see how he be dropping them F-bombs? Tom, that's Psycho T. You told me he's psycho.
Yeah.
He might go crazy on it. Okay, maybe it hit with hit him in the gut or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I just feel in my heart of hearts that this was a possibility, again, depending upon Cleveland.
Right.
And Cleveland went Baker Mayfield, and now it's all history. But I think Tom Brady knows it was a distinct possibility.
At some point in time, Tom will have to draw a line in the sand.
Yeah.
Coach Belichick keep drawing his line.
He does.
And he getting closer and closer to Tom. At some point in time, Tom Brady say, I ain't backing up anymore. I ain't backing up.
Can you imagine Baker Mayfield sitting behind Tom Brady? Baker is the kind of kid who would trash talk Tom Brady. He would. He would start verbally going at Tom Brady. Trust me, that's what he's made of.
Like, oh, yeah. Oh, you think you don't want to make that throw? Yeah. Oh, watch this.
Watch this.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be competing against Tom in practice.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Ooh, that would have been something.
Ooh, amazing.
Drama.
Next up, LeBron said last night's game was, quote, probably one